You dropped 20 pounds. You felt amazing. You finally saw your jawline again. And then 6 months later, it all came back. Plus 3 extra pounds just to rub it in. Here's the thing nobody tells you. It wasn't because you fell off the wagon. It wasn't a discipline problem. And it definitely wasn't because you had one slice of pizza at your cousin's birthday. Your body has a secret defense system, a hidden hormone loop that literally fought to bring that fat back. We're talking cortisol throwing a tantrum, insulin going rogue, and hunger hormones multiplying like gremlins after midnight. Most people think weight regain is a personal failure. The truth? It's biology. And once you see how this loop works, you'll finally understand why eat less, move more is like bringing a knife to a hormone gunfight. Today, we're going inside your body to meet the characters sabotaging your fat loss. You'll see exactly why your belly fat clings on like a stage 5 clinger, why that cheat day made you gain 5 pounds overnight, and no, it wasn't 5 pounds of actual fat, and why your metabolism decided to go into witness protection the moment you started dieting hard. This isn't another lecture. This is the visual breakdown that finally makes it all click. Because once you understand the game your hormones are playing, you can actually beat them at it. Let's expose the loop. Picture this. You decide to get serious. You slash your calories to 1,200 a day, cut out carbs, maybe throw in double cardio sessions. Wrong move. Inside your body, an alarm just went off. And the guy holding the alarm? Cortisol, your stress hormone. Think of him as the angriest middle manager you've ever met. The moment you go into extreme diet mode, cortisol storms in like someone just spilled coffee on his quarterly reports. He's activating emergency protocols, convinced you're entering a famine. So cortisol goes to work. He pulls the big red lever marked fat store mode, telling your fat cells to grip tight, especially around your belly. And the worst part? The place cortisol loves to store fat most is visceral belly fat, the deep stuff wrapped around your organs. That's his favorite storage unit, and he's packing it full while you're doing crunches. Meanwhile, he's tossing muscle tissue into a shredder like old paperwork because muscle is expensive to maintain, and right now, the company's downsizing. Research backs this up. Women on aggressive 1,200 calorie diets showed significantly elevated cortisol. The harder you diet, the louder the alarm rings. Here's the cruel irony. You're working your butt off, eating like a rabbit, and your own stress hormone is actively storing fat while burning your muscle for fuel. This is mistake number 1, thinking more restriction equals more fat loss. Extreme dieting just stresses you out, and stress tells your body to hoard fat like a doomsday prepper. Now let's talk about what happens after you actually lose some weight. You'd think your body would celebrate, right? Nope. Instead, your body launches a full-scale hunger assault. And it's got 2 main weapons, leptin and ghrelin. First, leptin. Think of leptin as your appetite's bodyguard. When you've got plenty of fat stored, leptin stands at the door of your brain's hunger center like a bouncer at an exclusive club, turning away the hungry signals. But here's the problem. Leptin is produced by your fat cells. When you lose fat, leptin levels plummet. Your bodyguard just clocked out and went on permanent vacation. No replacement, just gone. And the moment he leaves, chaos. Enter Ghrelin, the hunger gremlin. This little guy lives in your stomach, and his job is to make you feel hungry. Normally, leptin keeps him in check, but with leptin gone, Ghrelin goes wild. After weight loss, Ghrelin levels can jump about 20% higher than before. Picture one gremlin banging a tiny pot. Now picture 20 of them, all with megaphones, forming a percussion section in your stomach at 2 in the morning. This is why you feel ravenous after losing weight. Studies show these hunger hormones can stay elevated for over a year after weight loss. A full year of your body chemically begging you to eat more. And here's the kicker. Even if you regain the weight, leptin often stays lower than before and ghrelin stays higher. Your body resets your hunger thermostat to always hungry mode. This is mistake number 2, ignoring the hunger comeback. You can't willpower your way through a 20% spike in hunger hormones. You need a strategy. High protein foods, high fiber vegetables, things that physically fill your stomach and give those gremlins something to chew on. You've been dieting for 2 weeks. Saturday hits and you decide, cheat day. Pizza, wings, dessert. Sunday morning, you step on the scale and you're up 5 pounds. Before you panic, let's do some math. To gain 1 pound of actual fat, you need roughly 3,500 calories above maintenance. So 5 pounds of fat would require about 17,500 extra calories in 1 day. That's not a cheat day, that's a professional eating competition. So what happened? Water weight. Your muscles and liver store carbohydrates as glycogen, and every gram of glycogen holds about 3 to 4 grams of water. When you diet, especially low carb, you drain those stores. The sponge gets wrung out. You think you're losing fat. Some of it is, but a lot, just water. Now comes your cheat day. You load up on carbs. That dry sponge just got dunked in a bucket. It soaks everything up fast. Your glycogen tanks refill, each gram dragging its water buddies along. That's your 5 pound gain. Not fat, water. But here's where insulin enters, the storage manager. When you eat carbs, insulin shuttles glucose into your cells. After you've been restricting, insulin goes into overdrive. He's like a warehouse manager with a surprise delivery of 1,000 boxes, frantically cramming them anywhere they'll fit. Muscles, liver, and overflow goes straight into fat story. This is mistake number 3, cheat day chaos. Planned moderate refeeds can help psychologically, but an all-out binge, that's water retention and an insulin roller coaster that leaves you bloated and craving more. The takeaway? Don't freak out about weekend weight spikes. It's water, not fat. Give it 3 to 4 days and watch it drop off. Let's talk about why your body becomes a fuel-efficient Prius when you're trying to burn fat like a gas-guzzling truck. When you lose weight, your body doesn't just burn fewer calories because you're smaller. It burns even fewer calories than it should for your new weight. It's called adaptive thermogenesis. Picture a maintenance worker sneaking over to your metabolic thermostat and quietly turning it from normal burn down to energy saver mode. Studies show a 10% drop in body weight can cause about a 15% drop in resting metabolism. In extreme cases, people end up burning hundreds of fewer calories per day than someone of the same weight who never dieted. And that effect can stick around even after weight regain. Your metabolism got turned down and nobody turned it back up. But your body's not done messing with you yet, because even if you account for the slower metabolism, there's another trick it's pulling that most people never see coming. Ever notice how after you start dieting hard, you just feel tired? You sit more, you take the elevator, you stop fidgeting, you become one with your couch. That's NEAT dropping, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. All the calories you burn through daily movement that isn't formal exercise. NEAT can account for 200 to 800 calories a day. And when you're in a calorie deficit, your body unconsciously dials it way down. You might crush it at the gym burning 400 calories, but here's the part that'll make you want to throw your Fitbit. Your body cancels it out without you even noticing. You move 400 calories less the rest of the day. Net result? 0. You just shifted the burn around like shuffling deck chairs on the Titanic. Your body is playing 4D chess while you're playing checkers. It's got a thermostat turned down and an activity dimmer switch you didn't even know existed. Now add muscle loss to the equation and things get really ugly. Think of muscle as your metabolic engine. The bigger the engine, the more fuel it burns even when parked. When you diet hard without resistance training or protein, up to 30 or 40% of the weight you lose can be muscle. Every pound of muscle you lose is like pulling spark plugs out of your engine. Less power, less fuel burn. Your metabolism takes another hit on top of the thermostat being turned down. Here's the cruel part, and this is where the yo-yo trap really gets vicious. When you regain weight, it comes back as mostly fat. One study found people who regained weight ended up with about 3 pounds less muscle than when they started. Same total weight on the scale, but now they had more fat and less muscle. It's like your body traded a V8 engine for a 4-cylinder and filled the trunk with concrete. You weigh the same, but your body composition is worse. You're softer, weaker, and burning even fewer calories than before you started. This is the yo-yo trap in full effect. Each crash diet cycle strips muscle, slows metabolism further, and makes the next round harder. You're literally downgrading your calorie burning infrastructure with every attempt. And here's the part that really stings. Your body doesn't care. To your body, muscle is expensive real estate during a famine. Fat is cheap insurance. So when resources are tight, it liquidates the expensive stuff first. The fix? Stop grinding harder and start working smarter. Moderate deficits that don't trigger full-blown panic mode. Resistance training, even body weight stuff counts. High protein intake to signal that muscle is staying. Enough sleep so your hormones don't go haywire. These aren't optional extras. They're the difference between losing fat and losing your metabolism. Now here's the part that might actually piss you off. You've been blaming yourself this whole time, thinking you weren't disciplined enough. But 80% of people who lose significant weight regain most of it within 5 years. So either everyone's weak-willed or something else is going on. Spoiler, it's not you. It's the tug of war. On one side of the rope, there's tiny willpower guy gripping with everything he's got. White knuckles, gritted teeth. On the other side, cortisol, Ghrelin army, missing leptin, slower metabolism, need on strike, constant hunger, fatigue. They're all pulling together, and they're Hulk level strong while willpower is basically a tired accountant. Your body has millions of years of evolution designed to prevent starvation. It thinks you're dying, and it will do everything to make you eat more and move less until you're back to what it considers safe. But here's what nobody tells you. The people who win this aren't relying on pure willpower. They're being strategic. They manage stress so cortisol chills out. They prioritize sleep because sleep deprivation spikes hunger hormones. They eat high-volume foods so the Ghrelin gremlins have something to work with. They lift weights to protect muscle and keep metabolism from tanking. You've got cortisol pulling levers, leptin on vacation, gremlin armies in your stomach, insulin cramming boxes, your metabolism thermostat turning down, and NEAT quietly napping. It's not a fair fight. But here's the biggest mistake of all, the one that keeps the loop spinning. Most people think the end of a diet is the finish line. You hit your goal weight, celebrate, go back to normal eating, and 6 months later, here we are again. Here's the truth. Maintenance isn't the end of the plan, it's the entire point. You spent 12 weeks losing 20 pounds. Now, you need to spend 12 months, maybe longer, teaching your body that this new weight is the new normal, that the famine is over, that it can stop panicking. Your hormones don't reset overnight. Leptin stays low, ghrelin stays high, your metabolism stays suppressed. These effects can last a year or more. So if you go from aggressive cut straight back to your old habits, your body is still in defense mode, still primed to store every extra calorie, still convinced the famine might come back. This is why reverse dieting exists, why diet breaks exist, why successful maintainers treat the months after weight loss as carefully as the weight loss itself. You're not trying to lose weight. You're trying to lose weight and keep it off. That second part, that's where the real game is played. Most people never knew there was a second game. Now you do, which means you're already ahead of the 80% who'll regain it all because they're still playing the wrong game. If this finally made the yo-yo cycle make sense, hit subscribe. There's a lot more where this came from. And if you want to go deeper into how fasting works with these same hormones, check out the video on screen. It's the perfect next step.